opportunity to ask Dwight his plan for helping us and the community at large make that a reality. I feel like he has a plan in place to do that. But we wanted to bring him here today for you to ask those questions so you can feel as confident as I do that Dwight is the person for us to be the next mayor to help us create a safe neighborhood, safe community, safe places for our young people to play, grow up, and do positive things.
What would you like to ask?
Say, I want to do school.
I like to put a mat on the floor so I can color on it.
A mat on the floor so you can color on it. How much does that cost, Al? I'll find a way to get that for you. Seriously, I gotta get you a mat. That's a must for a mat. I gotta get you a mat.
Mason?
Mason, how you doing?
Good. What are you going to do about the gun violence in Philadelphia?
I think there's a number of things that I've talked about. First, I've talked about looking at trying to change the gun laws. That's the first thing we're trying to do. Secondly, a better job of enforcement. But there's something else that I really want to talk about. I mean, just because a gun is there, does that mean you have to pick it up? Okay. So we should also talk about the element of what is right and what is wrong. I mean, I really believe, as you have here today, if we take more responsibility within ourselves and within our community, that we can get our kids to understand about what is right and what is wrong. And I don't want you to take that lightly. I know that people sometimes think, all the answers is City Hall in Harrisburg, but it's what you're doing here today. It's the fact that you've taken time. When Miss McGirt, where's Miss McGirt? Yeah. Yes, I want to make sure. Miss McGirt came over to me and whispered in my ear and said to me that this is what it's all about. And she's right. On these Saturdays, on these Sundays, if you heard the phrase over and over again about it takes a village, all of us have to take responsibility. So I would say to you about dealing with gun violence, yes, government has a responsibility, but everybody in this room has a responsibility. And until we begin to take that kind of ownership of our community, it's what we have described that is all the elements that you need in building the community. And what's taking place here today is a main part of it. Thank you for your question.
And I wanted to ask you, how would you give people more education to kids?
That's a good question. He asked the question, how do you get more education to particularly to the kids? I think first thing you do is you try to have schools that are your best schools that are available. And you try to make sure that you have top quality teachers, principals, facilities, right? Facilities are important, meaning that you want to have classrooms that have access to the internet. One of the things I've talked about is trying to have laptops in every household. I talked about the aspect of reducing class size, so class size be in the ballpark about 15 kids in a class. I've talked about modernization of the building, and I've talked about dealing with dropout. But I'm gonna say this to you, Demetri. You also have to do something. That means you got to learn how to write and read. We can do all those other things, but you got to do your part. You ready to do your part?
Yes.
One of the things I want to say to Miss McGirt, I'm putting her a lot on the spot. One of the things that was said to me, think about yourself. Why do you think they want you to play basketball? Tell me, why do you think they try to get you together to play basketball? You think they're trying to build a Allen Iverson or Michael Jordan? What do you think they're trying to do? What do you think they're trying to do?
To keep us away from driving out of school and drugs.
Say that a little louder.
Keep us away of drugs and driving out of school.
Right, because the basketball is only a means. The reality is trying to make you a better person, right? Because we're looking at being a better person. Look, I hope you make millions of dollars. I wish you the best, make all you can make, but at the end you got to be a better person. And if we have people who are better people, we make this a better community and a better city. So appreciate the basketball, what they're doing, but remember, we're trying to make people better, a better person. John Chaney used to say at Temple University, winning is an attitude. Winning is an attitude. Well, the same thing about life. There's a certain aspect about life being an attitude, and don't take that lightly. And I know at times when it may seem difficult, I know at times when it seems like it's not fair, I know at times when you don't seem like it's right. You can't give up. I got to keep saying that. I mean, I know that, I'm going to tell you, the world is not fair. We already know that, but you cannot allow yourself to get distracted. from what's going on. How you doing? Yeah, good. Hey, look, my leg got. Tell me what's the question you want to ask?
How are you going to help young people get better jobs?
Oh, say a question a little loud.
How are you going to help young people get better jobs?
She said, how am I going to help young people get better jobs? Well, I think there's a number of things that we can do in city government. I think, one, we can make sure that there's a city that is safe and attractive, that we can grow and develop businesses. So if it's safe, people will invest. I think the second thing is we got to make sure that the education system and the workforce development system is working so people can be trained and educated. We got to make sure, government works, we got to make sure the city's attractive, we got to make sure people want to move in for the city. For example, you have cable TV at home, the company Comcast, which is a major corporation right here in the city of Philadelphia. We got to help a company like that grow so that you can have eligibility job. But there's something you have to do. What do you think you have to do in order to get a good job? There's something you got to do. What do you think you got to do? Practice to read and write. Because people are not going to hire people who can't read and write. So you got to do that. Thank you. Anybody else? Yes. Yeah, a good group here. Did you hear about opening more gyms with, hey, Harold?
Yeah.
I can tell you specifically, he asked a question. I can tell you something else we do. Harold's the state rep, and we work together. And what we have done is, for example, you familiar with the YMCA on 16th and Capitol? Christian. Well, Harold and I work together. We got $750,000 to expand that Y. So with both of us in Harrisburg, we was able to get $750,000. There's more things we can do like, but that's something specifically we have done. When you see, when will it be finished?
On the 23rd, we're going to do a ribbon cut.
We're
And expand it.
going to expand it. So that's an example. We have done it. We can do more, but let me say this. The thing we want to do is grow the city. When we grow more business and grow more jobs, we can do more investment. Because that's the safest way to have a good city. That's a good question. How old are you? You running for office? Okay. He said, what can you do about the homeless people? I think there's a couple things that you can do. But the city has a 10-year initiative, meaning that they want to eliminate homelessness completely. I think a couple things have to happen around homelessness. I think that first and foremost you have to have affordable housing available so people can afford it. Affordable rents for apartments. But those who may have mental health problems, they are in a separate category. Those who may have drug abuse problems, they're in a separate category. So I think that what we have to do is have a plan about having affordable housing, affordable rents. Those who may be in mental health conditions and drug and alcohol, we have to have slots available in order to make sure that they are able to take care of themselves. But we also got to do this, which a lot of people know. You know, to have a house today is a responsibility and know how to take care of a house. One of the things I have done in the past is I've trained people how to buy houses, what you got to do to maintain a house. So I think it's important to teach people how to take care of houses, what you got to do. Those are the things that I work with. Homelessness, in my view, is not going to be dealt with overnight. It's a long-term strategy that we have to do. I just saw a number the other day that in America there are 800,000 homeless people across America. We got to talk about health care. You got to talk about health care. You got to talk about jobs. You got to talk about training. All those things together are the ultimate element to try to reduce homelessness on our streets.